NoSo Connection. It is once again draft day. JT and Ryan here with another fun wrestling-based draft. Ryan, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good, Justin. It's October, so we want some spooky, bloody Halloween themes, and we're here to do the bloodiest drafts in wrestling history.
Yeah, last year we did the wrestling costumes, which was a fun one. I liked that one for Halloween time. But yes, tonight we're doing wrestling's bloodiest matches draft, and we had to bring in two experts of the genre. Of course, first is my tag team partner in the Wrestling War Zone, one of the OGs of the NoSo, and an expert of wrestling around the world, so he knows his blood when he sees it. And then, of course, is Chad Campbell. As ever, Chad, how are you?
Doing good.
All right, and then one of the biggest purveyors of gore at the North-South Connection, known for his heavy metal artistry of the band Chained to the Dead, and that is our wonderful friend, ECW's biggest fan, Rocco Martone. Rocco, how are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. I'm here for it. Instead of Moneyball, I'm playing Bloody Ball today, guys.
Very good.
For it. Big draft.
It's exciting to have you here.
I'm sure you're excited. Now, we're all comfortable with menstruation, right? So we're all about the blood. We're all about just, the sanguinary art of wrestling.
You were our number one pick when we came up with this idea, so that we already landed the top pick. So
it's good to know.
All right, Ryan, you want to run the randomizer and see where we're headed?
Well, let's find out. Rocco, JT, Chad, and Ryan.
All right.
First,
All right.
Okay.
All right, I like where I'm at because next to Chad's a good spot, because I figure we're not going to coincide. Rocco could be anything. We don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at people and I'm wondering, I am taking into account what you guys might pick. I think Chad might be my biggest crossover thing, but all right. I'm going to go with one of the first bloody matches I saw as a child, and that got me into gore. Growing up with WWF, you didn't see as much, but I was a fan of the magazines. I was buying the magazines constantly. And I think I got to see this match. I think it aired on New Year's Eve of this year. Or I could be wrong. That might be something else. Anyway, Marty Jannetty, Shawn Michaels, Buddy Rose, Doug Summers, AWA. This is from Vegas. I think it's September 86. This is one of my favorite. It's a gore fest, and it's the perfect way because the blood is the heels wrecking a baby face. And they take Shawn Michaels, and it's the most perfect. Buddy Rose distracts the ref and Mike and Marty. Shawn is on the apron, and Doug Summers just rams his face into a pole, wrecks his head, wrecks his eye, and they annihilate his head for 5-10 minutes. It does not stop. The comeback is, Marty gets in, and Michael's attempt a couple, but the way he even tags out is great. And then Marty comes in, and then they get one over on him, and he's bleeding. And finally, Doug Summers is bleeding, and Buddy Rose is the only one that gets away without it. And then the match ends, and then they just start brawling again. Sherry's got blood on her by the end. This is just a beautiful match. It's the perfect way to work blood and work the cut, as they say. And it's a perfect tag team wrestling match, and maybe the greatest tag team match of all time.
Excellent match.
Yeah, it's a great pick. So, all right.
There's blood on the camera, which is important in a wrestling match, and that might play a part in my list later.
It's has a very neat tagline after the match where it's called Blood in the Sand, which is always cool when you get a little moniker for the match after the fact. But that
maybe the only AWA based first pick in one of our drafts.
Well,
Kelly Nelson, hold my beer, right?
I mean, I definitely wanted an AWA.
You mentioned New Year's Eve. I thought he was going with another one.
But I mean, the number one pick in one of our drafts. If for number one to go AWA.
I can play the New Year's Eve one.
If we do an AWA draft, maybe. That's
I think there's another pick, and it might be selected in this. We'll see.
I didn't have an hour to rewatch a certain match, so I didn't.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. Well, I'm going to go with a match where I don't think the blood plays a role in the match, but it plays a role in the finish. And it's one of the most visceral, memorable, bloody moments. And anyone who's followed me on any of these podcasts knows my favorite match of all time. And that's from WrestleMania 13, Blood from a Stone, Bret Hitman Hart versus Stone Cold Steve Austin. You get an amazing 5-star perfect match. And then you get the iconic blood coming down Austin's face while he's in the sharpshooter, which is a big catalyst for him to become the top guy. It's on the cover of the VHS. It's just an image you see in black and white, you see in color, and it always resonates to me. So when I think like Bloodiest Matches, you nailed it, Rocco. Like, there's a lot in the WWF in that attitude stretch, but there's not like a ton of like memorable ones. And to me, this is probably the most memorable of like the modern WWF era. So I had to go hard Austin. I would have waited, but I don't know. I feel like it could have been a Ryan Gray pick. So I had
it was going to be a Chad Campbell pick.
Okay. I figured. All right. Glad I took it then.
Wasn't mine, but I think it's smart to grab it early.
Well, yeah. I mean, you got to be strategic in this.
Yeah.
If you have any WWFs in your queue, you got to roll them out.
It's tough with blood and matches because it's like not everything could be like a Mexican, like just the blood starts before the guy gets into the ring.
Right.
Like I was going to do like, I think like when you think of like Bruno and Tito, Adonis and Savage in the cage in MSG, it's like the blood happens within like the last minute, right. And it's a bloodbath by the end. But it's like, does that make it? It's memorable. It's a great tag match, a great cage match, right. But as a blood match, I don't know if it's that important to the storytelling of the match.
Yeah.
Right. I'm gonna go with I mean, I listed a lot, but I think I'll go with if you think of like bloody matches and blade jobs, I'll go with one that I think most people would turn to, and that's Great Muta versus Hiroshi Hase. This is from New Japan Pro Wrestling, December 14th, 1992. It's where you get the Muta scale from. It's a pretty great match. It's actually one that also, like, the match before the blade job is humming along pretty well. And in traditional Japanese promotions, your All Japan and New Japan, they use blood pretty sparingly overall, I'd say traditionally. So this one and the magnitude kind of garnered a reputation. Of course, Meltzer afterwards labeling it the Muta scale. It's continued on. So that'll be my pick.
Yeah, I mean, it had to be a first rounder when you factor in, like you said, the whole blood scales built around this specific performance in this match. So it's hard not to be a top pick.
Yeah, you can't have this match not on there. It's not a match that I care that much about, and I'm glad someone had to take it. And I'm glad that opens up some other spots in Japan.
All right, I'm going to go outside the box, and it's not really on my brand to kind of go with this lane, but
from Velocity 2005.
It's got to be over if it comes outside the box.
Yeah. So, but it is from my home state, right? And it's not my home promotion, so to speak, but perhaps this promotion is near and dear to other people in this draft. But I'm going to go with the Mass Transit.
Yeah.
Eric Houlis and Devon Dudley versus the Gangsters. What was it? Revere, Mass in 1996. I think it's September. And I've never seen the match. I don't think anyone has seen the match, but the lore of it is kind of one of the first things you hear about and honestly, it's one of the first things I thought about when I was like, all right, what is the bloodiest match? It was Justin's pick with Stone Cold. And actually this popped in my mind too. So this is, in my opinion, worthy of a first round pick. I'm curious if it would have made back to me, but I think it's a pretty good solid pick.
I think I would have skipped that, and I was thinking about this because it's like, it's almost more the moment than the match. And it has like a moment where, like, if you want to talk about like the barbershop window, it could be on a list of moments, but not matches. Or like Piper when he smashes the bottle on his head and he's just gushing fucking blood out in that promo, or a lot of blood from like Memphis was always backstage shit. Or like, so it's like interesting to have that on there because it's like I never even thought about that.
Yeah,
but it is a match.
It's like there's two ways to think about it. It's like
it's lore, right?
I think it's an infamous bloody match because of obviously they maimed and nearly murdered an underage boy, and then but also
we've never seen it.
Yeah, we've never seen it. It's a legend, so it's hard to know. Maybe it was a bloody match. I don't know. like it's.
Well, I'm pretty sure they're safe to say that. Yeah.
Well, there's footage of it in like Dark Side of the Ring shows footage of it, and I'm sure you could find it if you want to ruin your computer with a virus too.
Yeah, I think it's. I'm glad it's on here because I do think it's like kind of a legendary. But I can see the point too, where yes, the moment of it. I think you look at it both ways.
It's probably the most bloodiest incident, famously.
Yeah.
So I figured it's worth it. I think it would look interesting, right? So, all right. And the second one here is another pick that I picked in a similar draft, and that is 1983 Starrcade Piper versus Valentine dog collar match.
Yeah.
That was my first pick in Starrcade, and it is my second pick here for the most bloodiest matches of all time.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, another one that had to be on this list. I mean, it's such unique blood too with the ear. Like it's just so different. And it feels like the end of an era too for like Crockett. I mean, obviously they're still hot in the 80s, but like Piper and Valentine, the two guys that are in WWF by 84, like it just feels like the end of that original territory run before both companies start to kind of go more national. So it's a cool touch on that show. That feels like a big torch passing in many ways with Flair and Race and then that match.
Yeah, that whole feud is insanely bloody. Like even the non-dog collar matches and that are insane. And it just feels like visceral when you watch it. You feel that blood, and that blood is like you said, it's just gore. It's just gross.
Mm-hmm. The Muda blade job scale match, I don't have it 5 stars. I think for my next couple of picks, I'm just going to pick stuff I have at 5 stars. This one, I think only Rocco might select, but I'm going to go ahead and select it. And that's going to be Necro Butcher versus Samoa Joe.
I was going to go first with that. Fuck. God damn it.
Easy.
Go ahead. Sorry.
This match, it just rules. Like it's everything. It's right under 10 minutes. It's an insane brawl and just the moment and everything. Like, yeah, CM Punk on commentary shouting out Rob Naylor in the crowd. Like it's like an inside match, but it's still very like visceral and hate filled. And the blood with like Necro by the end of the match, it's all over Samoa Joe's body. And I think
it's not a double juice, it's not a double blood, but he's covered in it, which is even cooler.
He gets covered in it. And to me, like this is one of these matches too that I think has an almost unanimous hit rate with either more casual fans or non-fans just to watch it. Like if you say like, here's a spectacle of pro wrestling, like this is always like, especially when I was in college and stuff, and like wrestling was not that cool in the ruthless aggression era, and right after that PG era, and you could always throw this on when somebody knew you're a wrestling fan, they would be captivated by it, and very short time commitment too, so I think that helps.
I don't think I've seen this match in 15 years, 18 years. Like
I just rewatched it, dude. It's perfect. It starts off, it never stops. Just a headbutt that opens him up and he's done. His head, when he hits the ground, it literally it's not like one of those things like there is a head print on the concrete and it happens twice. And the way his hair is like covered and into the ground, but then like the way he's fighting is like a guy who's been smashed in the head. It's a fucking perfect match. I'm very upset that I get to pick this match. And it's crazy because it's in the ECW arena, but it's an IWA match too, which is a wild thing.
Yeah.
So
their first show in the ECW arena was the night before One Night Stand. So that was kind of like a big, one of those kind of destination weekends where a lot of people did the IWA CCW double shot and then did One Night Stand the next night. So
yeah, it's such a good match, man. Like there's no air in any of the strikes. There's just nothing that doesn't seem like two guys just trying to destroy each other, and it's just so good, man.
Yeah, and then 3 hours later, Necro has another tag match on the CCW show that also is very great too, and bleeds again. So there you go.
When you said 5 stars, I thought you were going with my next pick, but so I'm going to go ahead and just take it here. Starrcade. 85, Magnum TA and Tully Blanchard, the I Quit match. Anytime you can get someone jamming a piece of wood into an open wound and a guy screaming for his life, especially like a pretty boy kind of wrestler, it's, Magnum's, I guess, his peak, right? Pretty much, because even though he built up for bigger things to come, obviously we don't get there at the accident and all that. So it's kind of his final big salvo in wrestling before he goes down. And it's just one of the most iconic early Starrcade matches.
It's very hate filled, so that it definitely checks that. I think this was on my list. I think it had to be. It's just the blood. It's certainly a bloody match. I have another one that I picked that I think maybe is kind of in the same vein, but
No pun intended.
Similar, yeah.
It's a surprisingly short match too, and they
Yeah,
go
this
at
one's
it.
not very long either. It's about 50.
No, yeah, it's
Yeah,
tight.
like they go fast, and it's like they're selling their damage hard because they're like they're two dudes who want to murder each other. It's like it's in a street fight. Street fights get real boring real fast because you're gassed and you're going at it, and then the next thing you know, you're spent. And like by the end, like Magnum is the good guy, and he just is like, well, I'm gonna take his eye out, and Tully doesn't even say I quit. He just says yes when they ask him if he quit. So I mean, I guess he still has a chance. But it's also like a title match, which is kind of like the NWA just
title match.
yeah, like it's just wild, man. It's such a good match, and it's just a piece of wood. What a great weapon too.
Yeah.
And Magnum today doesn't even make it to the next Starcade. It's such a bummer. All right, I'm gonna go a favorite because I can't have it not be on here. Sabu Sandman, January '98 from the arena, Stairway to Hell. It's one of my favorite matches of all time. It's two dudes like I don't know. I have to say maybe almost this is Sandman's peak is '98. Sabu's right up there. It's a feud that they literally just kind of like. This was a match that I believe because like you couldn't see it on TV, so it kind of probably gets lost. It's not on the network. It's one of those deals because ECW was selling tapes for $25, but every once in a while they throw the barbed wire, they throw this on there, and they could charge $35 for a double tape, and they make more money than they were making on any pay-per-view they ever sold. And this match is just so violent. It starts off violent. Sandman has a bloody fucking blade job that, like, unlike anything you'll see in a Tree of Woe. Sabu's bleeding from the mouth. Sandman just flying all over, doing ladder suplexes. Just incredible shit. Has one of those moments where True Life enters where Sabu's taping up his jaw midway through the match. And the ending shot is just Sandman head to toe in blood, gassed, barbed wire wrapped around his head, weaving to the strains of Enter Sandman. Like one of the greatest endings to an ECW match of all time. It's a fucking amazing, perfect match. Show this to anyone who doesn't like wrestling, and they'll like wrestling after this.
Great pick. Hard to argue it. Again, like everything we've had here have been an array of a mix of like just really good violence, bloody visuals, and great matches.
And there's some guys like Bruce Brody, who I love, Buzz Sawyer, Abby, where they're like you're almost like just watching their whole career in blood. So sometimes it's hard to pinpoint. Like not having Brody on here would kill me, but it just to me he just fought Abby for 15 years, like so it's tough to have. And Sabu, blood was oddly enough not like the biggest visual for him, right, like he didn't need to bleed in matches. He was already doing crazier shit than anybody else. But this is one of the matches he's in that has some of the greatest blood of all time. I cannot risk Chad going back to Japan. So Terry Funk, Onita, May '93, in front of 40,000 people. Definitely on the short list of greatest matches of all time. Definitely the most emotional ending to a match of all time. Once again, the blood is great because Onita is just shredded in this match, and he's getting torn down. He's the young student. He's trying to take out his teacher, and Funk gets the early hand, and Onita's arms are shredded, and his back is shredded from the wire. And eventually Funk comes back, and I think everyone knows, Onita wins. Funk can't get up. Onita covers his body, or the whole building explodes, and the guitar riff from nowhere comes out. But then there are these great images of all this. This might be the greatest smoke match of all time, maybe not blood, but the smoke used in this match when Onita first comes out to when he's holding Funk, and as they leave the ring, and then like Onita falls, and Funk is dripping blood, and then Funk just lays on Onita, and they're crying and they're bleeding on each other, and it's such a wild thing. And then at the end, Onita wants his father figure to give him his props. And Funk is like, no. Like he's like, you can never make your daddy happy is the story of this match. And it's definitely one of the greatest matches of all time. And one of the bloodiest.
Yeah, anytime somebody says like wrestling is cinema, I want them to watch this match. I think it's such a cinematic, like with the siren and the counting down and like the dread you have as the viewer to
it's a perfect word, the dread
exploding. Yeah.
If you have anxiety, the last 5 minutes of this match will make you fucking lose your shit, dude. Yeah. Smoke some weed and put the headphones on, and you will not last to the end of this match. It is wild.
Yeah. This, and then I'll mention another match. I think that could get picked in this, but if not, I'll put it in our honorable mentions. Those to me are like the scariest, like most dread-filled matches I can think of, and both are great examples.
All right, I'm going to stay in my lane, just like you guys are, in a pick similar to the first choice I had. This is a legendary WWF match. I think the blood doesn't necessarily drive the match, but it's a part of the most important visual of it. And I've nitpicked the finish of this match to death, but I don't care. I love it. And Chad will be covering it very soon on Wrestling Warzone. And that is Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker at Bad Blood 97.
That's the other match I was thinking of. I think that's the other one that has a very good sense of dread.
Yeah, you need that. You got the name. It's in the name of the show, Bad Blood, and it's built around Michaels. He had opened up Taker twice already with nasty blade jobs. So coming into the match, you already had that hate and anger, plus him costing the belt at SummerSlam, and then the visual of a bloodied, beaten Shawn who fell off the cage and had the shit kicked out of him the whole time with the Crimson Mask, rolling on top of Taker for the win after the Kane tombstone, and then being dragged out by Hunter Helmsley in China. Just a bloody mess. I think it's, again, one of the more iconic WWF blood scenes that they've done. So I feel pretty good getting that in Hard Austin, both from 97, funny enough. But
Shawn Michaels is a crazy deep blood guy. You wouldn't really think of.
Yeah, he's on this list.
I meant to say that at the
twice,
beginning.
so.
Yeah, I meant to say that when Rocco picked the Summers match. Like, Shawn, yes, he is like an underrated, I think, top blade guy. Like, he has a lot of very memorable bloody matches. And
series.
Yeah, it wasn't as usually. I mean, sometimes in that 04 or 05, there's blood for the sake of blood, but a lot of the times for him, it mattered. Like when he did it, and he did it well. He definitely has more than most WWF, like lifelong WWF guys. For a guy that didn't really do much else anywhere else,
he couldn't really
got
bleed there till this match, right? Like, did he ever have a bloody match before this? And then he left, and then he came back, and he really pushed them in. Yeah, like, could you bleed before? Like, when did blood come back to the WWF? Like,
yeah, probably around end of 96, early 97. So no, I don't think he probably has many before that, but he really crams them from 02 to 07 or whenever they stopped with the blood. He definitely has a lot of them.
And it really helps his, like, just the heel getting their shit kicked in by the face. Like, it's just like, he's just
so much too. Yeah.
And it's great. It's a fucking, just right into the cage from the outside, dives into the cage, does it mid-flight, gigs himself mid-flight.
Picture is like pretty iconic too, of them laying in the cell, the camera down from the top of the cage, and Shawn's like face is covered in blood and Taker's laying there next to him. That's like a pretty memorable scene as well. Those blade jobs, I'm looking forward to covering those, Chad, because like the ones where Michaels breaks Taker open, like on Raw or whatever, like those are pretty nasty. He like really, Taker does a disgusting. I think the first one is like really grotesquely nasty that he does on Raw. It's like really, really gross.
I mean, think about how, because the way that WWF was shot back then too, like they were like blasting the ring with light, and so like that was like a shocking thing. Like a lot of these matches, like it's like there's some deep cuts that like I could, like, if I watch some like Mexican stuff from the 80s, I can barely tell the dudes are bleeding sometimes, so it kind of sucks. But this, like, especially then, it was so stark, and they didn't have so much bullshit like they do now, where you could like actually pay attention. So you're just staring at the ring, and there's just a bloody human. It was such a rare thing in the WWF at that time for so many years. It's
all right, I'm gonna go with this will just be a personal pick. It's Akira Hokuto versus Shinobu Kandori from Dream Slam. So Akira Hokuto gets tombstoned on a table. This is after she broke her neck, 6 years before, and continued that match, holding her head and neck in place. She had the moniker the Dangerous Queen, versus Shinobu Kandori, who was this was interpromotional war. So Kandori was LLPW. Hokuto was All Japan Women. Dream Slam was an interpromotional conglomerate show of all the women's promotions. And Kandori was on an undefeated streak. And this is an epic, amazing match, too, that I think also would play just with the emotion of it. That's one where I think the work kind of speaks for itself, but I think the blade job certainly helps, where you have Hokuto has kind of dyed blonde hair by this time, so by the end of the match, she's really kind of the blood soaked in, and looks almost like how Ric Flair a lot of times his hair looked, where it gets soaked in with the blood. So overall, just an amazing match too. This is what I only have probably. Last time I looked, I had 10 matches. I rate 10 out of 10. This is one of the 10.
I mean, it might be the hardest hitting match on this list, other than maybe Necro and Joe.
Yeah.
All right, it's on me. Again, I'm outside the box, Jones. Here, you'd think I'd be picking every 2000 and 2010 and sneak in some current stuff, but no, I'm not. I'm going to 1984 Madison Square Garden, and I'm going with the Sergeant Slaughter versus the Iron Sheik in a boot camp match. It's simple. It's straight ahead. There's a blood feud, and it culminates here. It's fucking awesome. If you haven't seen it, please go check it out. The first time I watched this was like 5 years ago. I haven't even, and once I saw it, it just really opened my eyes up to mid-80s WWF, and I've hook, line, and sinker ever since. Whenever I have free time, I kind of dive into months and years of that era. So, yeah, it's under the radar too, because it's the start of Hulkamania, so it's kind of forgotten about, right? But it's truly excellent.
Yeah, 84, I think overall is a really fascinating year to track WWF because they're doing their expansion. It's right before, obviously, the next year's WrestleMania, and when a lot of people kind of first got in. In 83 is so bad. Like 83 is an awful year for the
Rocco and Snuka.
That's about it. That's your peak. Like Backwoods completely washed. Slaughter comes in after Final Conflict, and he's just like sleepwalking through a lot of his matches. So they needed something to jolt it in, and it was Hulk Hogan, and it was this feud kind of that like Tito and Hammer too for like the work rate feeds. This is an awesome feud overall, and this is an awesome culmination match too.
Yeah,
two guys that if you only watched recently, or you think of like the Sheik as like a Howard Stern guy or something, you watch this and you're like, holy fuck. And Slaughter in a boot camp, I mean, Slaughter is awesome even like as he's older, but like in MSG, any Texas Death or boot camp match from MSG is usually pretty fucking solid no matter who's in it, but Slaughter just brings it every time.
And Sheik is like ripped too at that point, which like he's just jacked up, like he's trim, like he's in really good shape too, which helps a lot. Everyone kind of thinks of fat old Sheiky baby toward like the late 80s, early 90s maybe, but like in that early to mid 80s, like he's really ripped.
Yeah. And he was like the original suplex machine back then too.
Maybe not City, this much. All right, Ryan, kick off round 4.
Again, no one is going to believe this is my list when they see the graphic, but I'm going to the Spectrum 1978 Sicilian stretcher match. Superstar Billy Graham versus Bob Backlund. Well, I got the end. We were talking about the end of Backlund. We're talking about the beginning of Backlund here. Superstar did a great job of kind of setting him up for success here. And I watched this 2 years ago. Kelly put this on when me and Kelly were doing touchdowns and turnbuckles. It was put on to me there, and I watched it again leading up to it, and it was awesome. And you got the flimsy stretcher, and underrated Gore guy is Superstar, by the way, right? He leaned on it because he was so kind of like whatever, right? But yeah, this is another fantastic match too.
Yeah, he's another guy where his hair color being blonde helps when he blades because it can blend in.
All right, I'm going to stay in that era of
not your pick, not your. So, if you want to go ahead, why don't you go ahead and say what you're going to pick, and then I'll select it.
Just steal it. Just
stretch your cards a little bit there.
I'm going to go 2000 WWF.
Damn it!
So there we go. And I'm going to go for a match that this was like a pro wrestling only DVD VR favorite, and this was a time when I was pretty checked out on WWF, but I did watch this one, WWE by this point, and that's JBL versus Eddie Guerrero from Judgment Day 2004. This is one that two things on this. The main thing is the chair shot, and then you see the blood just gushing down. So that's just like an all-time camera angle. And then there is the ring just gets completely, the mat is disgusting with the blood. And you have the great visual of, again, like JBL gets covered with Eddie's blood, and you see that one picture camera shot that's the whole length of the ring with Eddie just shambles, bloody, the ring.
He goes into
bad.
shock or whatever after too, doesn't he? Like from the blood loss.
Yeah, so he really goes deep. So I love this match actually. Like it's one of, I would say, the better matches of the Ruthless Aggression era for me of WWE. So
this was a DQ too, by the way, right?
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Eddie gets DQ'd, and that sets up the rematch. JBL wins the belt and the bull rope at the Bash, and they have a good cage match too on TV to wrap the feud up.
SmackDown,
Yeah, I like their feud overall. I like the bull rope match. I like the cage match, but I think it peaked here.
JBL's underrated. I don't give a fuck. I stand by it. I stand by
In
it.
that initial ascent, yeah. I mean, I always said like his, they didn't do him a favor by just, I think, hot shot in the world title on him. I think he actually would have gotten him more organically over if they had him work his way through like the US belt and then get to the world title. I get why they did what they did, but I think it took too long. They did it so fast that it just took too long for the fans to catch on. So like they just hated him forever because it felt forced. And then when everyone kind of realized, but then when they realized like, hey, this has actually been pretty good, it's almost the end by that point. So it's like, I wish they let him organically build up more because I think he would have got over better.
He ages well on
was.
rewatches.
Yeah, that 04 stuff is really good. It's just everyone's angry, especially because Eddie and Benoit both lost the belts together. Like, so a lot of people were just like angered by that at the time that they were blind to it. JBL was like an avatar. Him and Triple H were, the Antichrist, right? Because, even though it was Orton, this is a good belt, but they just felt like everyone was waiting for Benoit and Eddie to get their moment. And then within 2 months, Eddie's lost the belt. And it came out later, obviously, that he was not able to handle the pressure and they're worried about relapse and all that stuff. But like at the time, I think that was momentum against JBL, that he beat Eddie kind of, 3 months. He had just been a tag guy at a bottom level team like months before too. So, all right, I'm going to go to the era that Ryan was in.
Was that your pick, by the way, Justin? Did Chad steal it?
No. It was on my list, but no. I was going to 1981. I'm going to stick with Sergeant Slaughter versus Pat Patterson in the alley fight at MSG as well. So I was going to take one of the Slaughter matches. I was just going to see which one went, and then took the other one. And I'm happy. I like them both. I think they're both great. They're both bloody. They're both violent. I could watch any of them anytime, and I'm happy to get this. I would have taken Sheik if you took Patterson. I was just going to take the opposite. So
I just prefer Sheiky.
Any of those, like, you gotta love those matches where like the guy takes his boot off and just starts beating the fuck out of a guy with a cowboy boot. Like it's like such a staple of that. And like Patterson's gear in this match is fucking awesome with the New York shirt, and of course it's all bloody by the end of it. But yeah, it's a great match. And Slaughter just the bumping machine that he was. Thank God. I was worried about this one going. I don't know if Justin saw this yet, but this is maybe one of my favorite ECW matches. I had to get Jack Victory on here. The Sheep Herders Fantastics matches I couldn't figure out on one of them. So Tajiri versus Steve Corino with Jack Victory in his corner, May 2000, and that's Hardcore Heaven.
I'm going to be watching that very soon, so keep it spoiler free for me here.
Okay, one guy gets bloody and the other guy doesn't. I don't know how to explain it. It's I'll say this
25-year-old match.
New to me.
It's got the great, it's like a great story leading up with Corino establishing himself as this prick, but it's great because he really there's some crazy racial shit that he throws at Tajiri before this match, and Tajiri does the thing you should do in this. He doesn't look to the crowd and ask, should I hit him? He just fucking slugs them, and then he doesn't stop hitting him for the entirety of the match. The blood that comes in this comes from a brain buster on the outside. Sorry, Justin, happens very early. And you were talking about the first image of the bleeding is down off the ramp on Corino on the floor, and there's already a puddle of blood on the concrete. And the blood on the concrete floor is one of the greatest parts of bloody matches, especially when it's a grimy floor, like an old school floor. And Corino just takes a shit kicking here. It's not like, Justin, you're ruining my whole fucking spiel, buddy. I'm not gonna talk about this match.
I'm not listening. I'm not paying attention.
Okay. Well, it's like this is the match that Triple H should have had with Booker T at that WrestleMania, where this is the ass kicking that Corino gives so much to Tajiri here, and he gets a little bit, but it's only when Victory interferes. He gets some moves in, so it's not a total decimation. And Corino takes a move that it's funny when you think of ECW and people take the moves. There's a move involving a table being drop kicked into a face in this in a way that I don't think it's been done since 2000. It's brutal, it's violent, and Steve Corino's hair is the consistency of pudding, like red pudding on the top of his head. It's a different texture than hair normally should have. It might be the bloodiest match. There's also blood on the camera, and this match fucking rules, and the ending is brutal, and it's perfect.
I look forward to watching it very soon.
How close are you?
I am I'm in May. Like I'm like a week away from Hardcore Heaven, pretty much. Actually, might be the next show I have to watch, or I might have one set of TV before it. But yeah, I'm about to watch it. It's funny we were talking about Sean because the Dirty Vault YouTube channel has like a WrestleMania match marathon going on right now, and Sean Cena's on, and I had no memory that Sean played in that fucking match.
Cena's another guy.
I know, but like I know, like it just shows you like again, like Sean, like this is such a match that probably didn't need fucking blood, right? Like see the Sean at Mania, like like, and Sean's like bleeding all over his fucking forehead. It just goes to show, like again, like he was just a bloodhound during these 4 or 5 years.
I think that's like that time though, like they were just throwing everything at the wall to try to get some of the magic back. So they're just like, yeah, just bleed everywhere. Like, well, we don't know what the fuck.
Yeah, they go. 05, 06 is one of the like people talk about the Attitude Era. I argue that 05 until Benoit, like when they go to USA to Benoit, is one of the most vulgar, violent, like ridiculous periods that they ever do.
Bloody bits up the Big Show's ass.
There's blood. There's like the sex stuff ramps back up. The violence ramps. It's like a forgotten, insane period of like. I think it's crazier than the Attitude Era. Honestly, you don't hear enough about it, but it's like completely unhinged. Like starting with that USA homecoming with Linda getting centered and Dr. Heine right up until Benoit dies. It's like all insane.
All right, I'm gonna go modern.
Oh, Rocco.
I'll go with modern. I gotta go with an AEW match. There's like three
on my list. I'm curious which one.
Fuck. There's 3 on my list, and I'm gonna go with the one that I want to get some.
None on my list.
The most modern. It's Mariah May, Tony Storm.
Good one, Rocco.
Hollywood ending. It's I don't know the best death match that's been in the United States in many years. It's the best female match that's happened on this in many years. It's a perfect feud. The match is incredible. We got Crimson Masks, Raven, Tommy Dreamer style Crimson Masks, which this feud does remind me of that feud a bunch. And it has a callback to one of the coolest things that ever happened in a death match, which is a Taipei death match, which is not the greatest match in the world, but they call back to it, which rules. And once again, high heels stabbing when a match ends with a super violent move, like just I'm gonna stab you. This is where we're at. It reminds me of maybe the Masa Saito Inoki match, right? By the end of the match, they're just beating the fuck out of each other.
They take the ring ropes down. I actually just watched that last week. That's an amazing match. It's on my short.
And Inoki's just knocking the fuck out of him. And that's what you do at the end of these matches, which is so great when the hero is just like, fuck it. And they do something and they just clobber. And Tony does that. She stabs her with a high heel, calling back to the beginning, hits her with a big move. They both end the match and in a very Onita way without being like, hey, look what we're doing. Like they embrace and then they never see each other again because that's it for Mariah. This match just rolls. It's incredible. There are moments of levity. I wouldn't say it's like a comedy. There's comedy in it, but it's like you would consider Goodfellas a comedy. It's a super violent, insane movie, but there are moments of levity because that's just how life is. And violence and comedy have the same kind of setup and punchline too. So there are moments of comedy, but it's no way in any way, shape, a comedy match. And it's the best, my favorite match in a long time.
Yeah, it's excellent.
Yeah, it's it's my current match of the year for this year, and pretty easily.
So would you say that's March 2025 Revolution, right? Yeah,
correct.
Yep.
All right, I'm gonna go back to my wheelhouse now, and I'm gonna go with another match I have at 5 stars that I just love. It's another one that I think may be the most violent match in WWF history of the modern era. It's a level of insanity that you'd only expect from one man, and that is Perk Angle. Whipping Vince McMahon's baby boy through shards of glass over and over until you're leaving him on the doorstep of death, covered in blood, covered in glass pellets. More like suplex fest. It's like watching it live. I could not believe that this was happening on the pay-per-view. It's just those glass shots are just insane, especially with Shane, like of all fucking people. And then even the stuff in the ring, the super angle slam and all that. It's just a great match. I love it. And yeah, it's bloody. It's violent.
I haven't watched that in years.
It's so good. It holds up. It's just fucking insane. It's even crazier that it's like Angle's third match of the night. Like, it's just nuts. The whole show is nuts anyway. I think it's one of the most overlooked, like, crazy pay-per-views they did. Because even after that, like, Jericho, Benoit, and Austin is like very hard hitting and stiff, violent in a different way. And then Booker comes out and nearly, ends Austin's miracle 2001 run, breaks his tailbone, breaks his hand in one shot. It's just like you get the Undertaker DDP stuff. It's just a weird, crazy show that they did during their red hot period. But that match is worth rewatching. I think it holds up. It's insane still.
A little overrated. All right,
just like your takes.
I agree with Chad on
that. We have no lucha yet, so I'm gonna do a lucha match. Had a few on my short list. I'm gonna go with El Hijo del Santo. It's also from 2001. It's El Hijo del Santo versus La Parca. It's from December 23rd.
Mask on.
Yeah, you can go off camera.
Where did that come from?
Always on standby.
Yeah.
This is in Monterey.
Before you go.
Oh, this is you're breaking kayfabe here. This is the first time you've actually put it on without the.
Yeah, usually I go off camera to put it on.
Yeah, go off camera, then come back. Great reveal. But no,
one of these times I'm gonna have the chair with me. I forget every time to grab one. I know it's a whole thing.
How big is that thing? I've never noticed. Is it too big?
No, I didn't have the tie right in the back.
Oh, okay.
I did not expect this going here. I'll tell you.
I was glad to be in person.
Chad was with me when I bought this. It was a big moment.
Piece of memorabilia was purchased from the lucha hotbed of Cozumel, Mexico. Of course,
dude, that guy was impressed. I picked La Parca. He was trying to sell me Rey Mysterio, and I was like,
or Nacho Libre, or what?
He's like, oh, La Parca, Rudo, yeah. I was like, yeah, man, give me the fucking mouth.
But no, this match, it said, the Monterey venue, it looks pretty shady. This is kind of to go to Rocco's point. The video quality on this is not the best, but they're both wearing like Santos in his traditional silver outfit, and La Parca's actually in a kind of all white outfit for this match. And by the end of the match, both of them look like they're wearing pink gear because the blood is soaked through with both of them. And if you just like Google image some of the images from this match, like El Hijo del Santo bloody, like it's gnarly, man. So this is when I think of like lucha crazy brawls, there's been a lot of them, but this is the one that resonates with me the most.
All right, on me, fifth round here. I'm going to go AEW as well, but I think it counts. It's AEW, but I'm going to Final Battle 2022 Briscoes versus FTR Ring of Honor dog collar match. Their trilogy is fantastic, and this is the epic way to blow it off. It's fantastic. It's phenomenal. I watched a 5-minute clip of it today. I was drenched in it. It's violent, and even the ref gets scored. Gets right. So it really was the match of the year in 2022. So
yeah,
phenomenal feud of the year. And fuck, we lose Jay 2-3 months later. It's really sad.
I think he dies in January. So it ends up being very tragic. So,
I know it's the winter because I remember where I was. Yeah. I was at Landon's wrestling practice. It's the winter, so
yeah.
So
yeah, I don't think anyone will ever pull off a tag dog collar match that well again. It's so fluid the way everything works out in that match. It's incredible. And not fluid like planned fluid. It's just it never doesn't seem like a fight, but it doesn't
literal fluid.
It is. I mean, yeah, there's not a lot of contenders on the tag title dog collar match. Mount Rushmore besides maybe the Raven Pitbull one, but this match rules.
Yeah.
I mean, Briscoe's low-key, once again, great blood moments of all time. Jay Briscoe hanging upside down, painting Jimmy Jacobs.
Fucking fighting each other, right?
So, yeah, they play against each other too. Yeah.
Nuts. All right, and I have to be true to myself. I have to have a ridiculous match in WWE history to be true to myself, and I'm gonna go WrestleMania 19. Vince and Hogan. Hogan is a historical bleeder for sure, and Vince is diabolical with it. And this is an all-time image where he comes above the desk, you son of a bitch, with just so much gusher, and he gushes instantly. By the way, by far instantly. Right? It's a terrible match, but it's a fucking awesome match. So,
well, it's not terrible by any means.
No,
it's another five-star banger.
I mean, it's not like a work rate classic, but I think for what they were going for is, I mean, it's
reaches its ceiling or whatever the fuck they were.
Yeah.
There's some aspect of it is terrible. Some aspect of it is phenomenal, right? So it's quarter.
I'll defend the match.
I'm just you get what I'm saying by that.
Yeah,
right?
no, I mean, yeah.
So, but the phenomenal part of it plays into what we're drafting. So that's my
it has the all-time like memorable, you know, or whatever moment too, with Vince coming out from the side of the ring. It's like an all-time camera angle, so that helps. So I do think Hogan's a pretty underrated leader. Like,
he's another one too.
Just watched an '87 match him and Harley Race from the Garden, and I mean, he gushes in that. That's another one where the canvas is completely filled with blood.
His slaughter match at 7 is a gusher.
Yeah, the Desert Storm match, he does a good blade job in that too from MSG. All right, yeah, I think
he's at 5 too, doesn't he? I think it's Savage.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think it dries up by the end, but I'm pretty sure. I think he bleeds during the match.
So Ryan was true to himself. I don't have any WCW or JCP on my list so far. I figured one of these matches would get selected, so I was kind of waiting and see which one got it, but none have so far. To me, this is like a quantity over quality as far as the blood's concerned, but I'm gonna go with War Games 1992. It's just one where you have like 80 to 85% of the participants are bleeding by the end of it. It gets a lot of guys in that I would like to have on a list like this. Like I think like Arn and Barry is a good bleeder, and Austin as well. So I'm happy to have all those guys in. It's my favorite War Game. So that'll be my final pick.
Yeah, it's just an amazing match overall. I mean, it holds up. It's so good. All right, so I have 3 on my list. One I don't really want to take, but it's like nasty blood match. We'll talk about the honorable mentions, and that leaves 2 that are spectacles. I'm going to leave 1 in case Rocco wants it, and if not, we'll talk about the honorables. And so this is not a good match by any means. But it's fucking absurd. And anyone, again, who's followed any of my podcasting knows one of my favorite pay-per-views of all time. Talks about the master puppeteer on the stage of dreams. And that is, of course, Mr. McMahon in the peak of his manic nonsense versus the one-legged Zach Gowen. The match is ridiculous, but that fucking blade job from Vince is one of the most ridiculous fucking blade jobs in company history. Like, and again, completely unneeded and not necessary in any way. He's already beating on a cripple man. The build to that is so good. The video package is one of my favorites of all time. And when Vince is on his knees and the chair clips him, I don't know if he blades, if it's the chair, whatever it is, and they do that angle where he's on his knees and his head is down and the blood is just pouring into a pool on the mat below him, and then he's just completely covered in blood, and then beats Zach anyway, which is this totally fucking maniacal. That he swats this one-legged man out of the air and beats him anyway, as he's dripping blood all over the mat. I could not take it. It just means too much to me as a show and as a moment. So
Vince really went on a run in 03. I guess wanting to.
Dude, even the Undertaker's a fucking gusher.
Yeah,
like, insane.
Survivor Series, and that was disgusting because of all the fucking dirt from the Buried Alive. It's like all in his.
It looks weird. Yeah, it looks like thicker. I guess I don't know.
Vince is another. He's another guy that you don't think of, but he's another guy that is like a big time.
Well, he has. I mean, how many matches does he have in his total resume? And he probably
over half of bloody. Yeah.
Oh, easily.
So for somebody that has more than like 25 matches in their life, he probably has the highest like hit rate of blood per match percentage. Yeah.
And I might be misremembering, but he definitely got some color when Austin would come out and like wreck him a couple times, like at the end of a Raw, right? Like, so it was like.
I think he got it at 15, WrestleMania 15. He had a little color too. I think.
It's ridiculous.
All right, Rock.
When he was in ECW, he had tried to get some color, but that didn't.
He wore the do-rag to cover it up.
Fuck, this is a tough man. This is a tough one to be the last one to go here. I'm not gonna go one of my all-time favorite matches. I'm gonna go another more recent one. Nah, fuck me. All right, I'm gonna just do it. I'm gonna do Funk Sabu, barbed wire. One of my favorites. I have to do it. I feel like I should have spread the wealth a little further with two Funks and two Sabus, but that's my shit. It's like it's notorious. It's one of the last it's the last ECW barbed wire match that happened. It was one of the last ones. Like, I don't know. It's just such a special match. It's such a wild match. It's because matches don't just start like at the bell, in between the bell. Like things happen before and after, and the things with Funk being literally mummified in barbed wire, that's part of the match to me. And that's a thing I've never seen before. And you have this like legend of wrestling bleeding with barbed wire on his eyes and his throat, tied to this maniac Sabu. And the story of the match is literally like this man being influenced by, it's like another Funk story of like, he almost has reversed the roles with Onita, where Sabu like inspired him almost to bring his violence up and reinvigorate his career. And he's going to show him like how to do it. And they both just put their bodies on the line in insane ways. And the blood is it's just on every little part. It's got a great moment where Sabu is just raking a barbed wire nub against Funk's forehead. And it's one of those amazing things in wrestling when you get the close-up magic that I don't get how they do without just murdering each other, and it's perfect. It's like and you could put the real gore in there and stuff like that. But just when the ECW arena is silent, you know you did something right. And not because they say hate.
Special edition of Extreme Three-Way Dance, Rocco, where you joined us, and we watched that match live. I watched it at the time.
That was actually the Sandman one, but this one you guys.
No, was it? It wasn't. Maybe the other one we just watched. You recommended that I know we watched it separately as not part of like because
you had to throw it on because it wasn't on TV until years later.
That's right. So the other ECW one I thought you may take, and I was going to take, but I had to go Vince Gowen, was Beulah and Fonzie.
Like, holy shit! I forgot to put that on my list. God damn!
I can't believe it. I thought for sure you might go there. That's a very infamous one where Fonzie just nearly bleeds to death trying to atone for his sins of being a mole for WCW. But that was a good. That would have been my next one probably.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of pure bleeding, like it's a great fucking match. It's it's one of probably the best mixed gender match, and Beulah for a non-wrestler destroys it. I mean, she's in 2 matches and they're both bloodbaths in her career, so that's pretty good. Well, I guess she fought Francine in that bikini match. I don't know if that counts.
That counts. It's bloody in its own way. The other one I thought of taking, but I just didn't want to be too repetitive. It's Taker Brock Hell in a Cell, which is also very gross for a WWF match. There's a lot of blood in that match and pretty nasty. He's got the broken hand as well on top of it. Like that's a great match, but it felt too similar to everything else I had, so I didn't want to do another one of it.
Yeah, JBL Cena. Yeah, I quit from Unforgiven. That gave Cena a lot of street cred for sure.
Ryan, were your other ECWs Rhodes and Hangman Swerve Full Gear? Were those the other 2?
I had Punk and MJF and Dog Collar.
Okay. And Rhodes?
Rhodes was on my short list. Yeah.
You know, Rhodes probably should be on here if I didn't pick AEW right before, but it's like I mean, at that time at 19, it's like 19, this company's new, and you're like, what? When you're like, you've been fed the WWF bullshit for like that, especially 2019, and you see this match, and you're just like, oh fuck, like these guys are gonna do it right over here. And it was like hope, you know, it was like, wow, this is like they're gonna be doing this crazy shit, and it's such a good storytelling match. And I mean, Hangman Swerve too is just a great like gore match.
Did nobody picked Foley, right? Which I think is kind of
Foley
upset.
Taker or Foley Taker?
Foley
I mean, I think Foley fuck would be what people.
I was gonna do King of the Death match.
The King of the Death match. Yeah. That's definitely a bloody like visual match, but I don't really think it holds up much.
He bleeds at 22, right? Does he bleed with the Edge match?
Yeah, it was
yeah.
I mean, you could do Royal Rumble, but that's like a bummer and a boring fucking.
Yeah, I saw that too, and I was like, I'm not putting that on my list. The 99.
Justin cry if he has to watch that match ever again.
Yeah.
Miserable for a week.
I just didn't want the tangent out of him. That's why I didn't.
Well, Rumble 2000 as well with Triple H's buddy. It's funny because we talk about Shawn and everything. Like, it just to me it sums up Triple H so well that like he's another guy that bleeds so much, but like no one took him. Like,
well, the Batista one is crazy. The hell.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
he's in a lot of bloody ones. Yeah.
It's tough. Like Tommy Raven, like which match do you choose from their feud? That's, you know, like chair shot.
ECW is hard because there's so much blood in there.
And Brody Abbey, like they've had so many matches. Buzz Sawyer's, like the Sheik, like Sheik Abbey versus the two Funks and All Japan is great, but it's like one of those things where you can't really see what's happening too much. War Games 87 is like my biggest surprise.
I really wanted Fuck on there. And Flair, those two. So I thought about like Great American Bash
89, yeah.
But the other two that I wanted, and I was glad Rocco picked a Japanese death match because I wanted like a lot of genres to be represented. But the Japanese death match that I like is Abdullah Kobayashi versus Suji Ishikawa. It's from September 19th, 2010. It's at Kurikan Hall. That's just a nasty match. A lot of light teams in that one. They put the glass in each other's face and like in their mouths and punch each other. And at one point they take off their gear and put like a thong on, like sumo style, and go at it. It's a weird kind of genre busting match. And then the other one that I thought was a Ring of Honor match, and I think it's one where the blood really amplified the stakes, is Samoa Joe versus CM Punk, and that's at All-Star Extravaganza 2 in December of 2004. It was the third of their trilogy. And that's one where, they had 2-hour-long draws. It was like, what could they do to up the ante? And then Punk blades really early in that match, like 3 minutes in, and you're like, okay. But I thought that was a good kind of cue to the crowd that was going to be, a smart marquee crowd that, hey, if he's bleeding this early, this much, like this one's not going an hour. Because I know there was speculation, because this one was like no time limit. So there was speculation going in. You just had Austin Aries and Bryan Danielson 4 months before do a 75-minute match. People were like, is this going to be an hour and a half? Like what's going on? So I thought the blood really was a good visual cue as well as a storyline narrative to make that match condensed. But I think it's probably my favorite of the trilogy. I go back and forth between that one and the Chicago draw, but those were two that were on my short list as well.
I thought you might have thrown Nigel Bryan on there.
Yeah, that's obviously a visceral, nasty. More of that one's just like the lump on his head.
Well, then he has that one when he fights Aries, but I would never want to put Aries on any list that I make. If you want to do a modern death match, what's his name? What am I thinking of? Desperado Jun Kasai from 22, 23. Yep. One of the coolest, like, Funk Onita level storytelling in a death match, which you don't get very often.
Well, it's some good stuff. You want to quickly recap our picks, and then we'll get out of here? Rocco, you want to start off?
Rockers and versus Doug Summers and Buddy Rose from the AWA. Sabu versus Sandman Stairway to Hell, ECW. Funk Onita, FMW. Steve Carino, Tajiri, Redacted. Can't talk about that one. Ryan May versus Tony Storm, AEW. And then Terry Funk versus Sabu. Two of my guys.
All right. I went Bret Hart, Steve Austin from WrestleMania 13. Magnum TA and Tully Blanchard from Starrcade 85, Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker from Bad Blood 97, Sarge and Slaughter and Pat Patterson in the Alley Fight from MSG 81, Shane McMahon versus Kurt Angle at King of the Ring 01, and then Vince McMahon versus Zach Gowen from Vengeance 2003.
I have Great Muta versus Hiroshi Hase, the Muta scale match, Necro Butcher versus Samoa Joe, Akira Hokuto versus Shinobi Kandori from Dream Slam, JBL versus Eddie Guerrero, Judgment Day 2004, El Hijo del Santo versus La Parca from 12/23/2001 in Monterey, and then War Games 1992.
All right, my first pick was the Gangsta, the Mass Transit, Piper versus Valentine, Dog Collar, Starrcade 83, Sheik and Slaughter, Boot Camp, Madison Square Garden 84, Backlund and Superstar, Sicilian Stretcher Match, Spectrum, September 78, FTR Briscoes, Dog Collar, Final Battle 22, and Vince and Hogan Street Fight, WrestleMania 19.
All right, that'll do it for another edition of Draft Day. We'll be back in a couple weeks with another Halloween, October themed episode. I want to thank Chad, of course, for joining us, and Rocco for coming back from the dead, chained to the dead, perhaps.
Can I throw a quick plug ski in here real quick?
Absolutely, my friend. Go ahead.
Speaking of October 31st on Halloween, our new album, Something Happened on the Way to Hell, will come out. Catch a nice Genesis cover on there. Sussex, New Jersey on the 1st, playing a big festival. November 7th, the Taffeta Club in the Lowell, Massachusetts, where it's probably right around the corner from where our list's favorite character, Eric Koulis, got murdered, and Chester, New York, November 8th, on our big album release weekend. So if you're in any of those areas and you want to talk about having Zach Gowen and Eric Koulis on an all-time bloodiest match list, then I'll talk about it all you want.
All right. Awesome. There you go. Check it out. Chain to the Dead. New album, Halloween. Continue drafting. Do I have a wrap up? I forget. Keep on drafting. I think that's what it was. All right. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks, guys. Later.